Hey, what's up? I picked up a little MacBook Air, I believe that's what it's called. I was gonna throw together a quick, hopefully quick, just a little leather sleeve for it. These things are slick as they can be. And so I just wanted to give it a little protection, and I saw a few of them out there. Never made one, but I figured I'm gonna give it a shot. So yeah, here we go. Hopefully this will be successful. If not the first time, we'll get it right at some point. So what I've done at this point is I basically just traced it around here, and then I have my math inside here. And so what I did was I accounted for 1/8 of an inch for the stitch line on this side and on this side, and then also I got the thickness of the actual laptop itself, and so that was about a 1/2 inch. So I added those two, got 5/8. So I added it out here. So on the top, or excuse me, the side, the bottom, the side, will all have the same measurements, and then at the top I just added 1/2 inch just to give it a little bit of lip, hopefully. I actually might go a little bit more just to cover the width, or excuse me, the thickness, and then also maybe just to have a little bit more. So this is just my rough cut. I'm going to cut this out. I have another panel that's even more rough cut, and then I'll just trace it if it actually works and fits. I'm going to fit it on there afterwards. I'll sew it all up and see how it comes out. So hopefully my math made sense. If not, shoot me a message. I'll try to make sense out of it. But I always try to add a little bit of extra for the stitch, because once you pinch those two things down, now it's going to have to take over that thickness. And also this leather is a little bit rigid and a little bit thick, so it's going to have to, you can see it's a pretty hefty leather in there. I'm not going to use a liner or anything, so I picked a pretty hefty piece of leather in there, which I think that'll look nice. I think that'll have an awesome patina on it, and should come out great. So here we go. Alright, so I got this pleated here. I'm going to grab this, lay it on down there, and then just fit this other rough piece over just to see how it'll fit. I'm actually gonna make sure I get this on there just to make sure I can cover it. And this leather will flex, but I don't want it to have to stretch too much, where I think that'll be nice. Let's see. Pinch here, yeah. Maybe my monkey mouth will work. So let's find out. I'm gonna basically stencil this one onto this other sheet, and then I'll get on my sewing machine, slap it together, see how it turns out. So. Got my heat erasing pen. I lost all the other things to it, but I just keep this little knob on there so it stays fresh. It's very frustrating to pick one up if it doesn't have ink in it, but this will come off with heat, so I don't mind drawing on the inside of the leather here. And this should be pretty clean, but if not, we can clean up some of these edges and sand them down, get a little gum trag on there, and finish them up to look nice afterwards. All right, let's get back to cutting here. All right, so got my two pieces here. I should probably, I'm going to put some kind of button snap on here. So I'll attach it on the back before I sew it, and then I'll sew it together afterwards from there. Alright, I've decided I'm going to put some snap buttons on here just to keep this intact. So I'm just going to make a little tab right here. I just cut out a little rectangle. Here's where I'm gonna stitch it on the back. And then I got my line drawn across, wing divider, set my lines here. I'm just gonna punch some holes in there, and then I can set these. Gotta get it big enough for, get that right in the middle. There we go. Get it big enough where I can get this in here. This button in here. Hammer it home. And obviously I want to make sure these are straight so they'll look nice when it's closed. So I got them on there. And then I got this little snap setter here. So this will be the button on the inside that I'll attach. Let me see if that fits. I hope it does. Yep, perfect. And then lay this on top. So this will be what shows. I'm going to lay that in here. And hope that my hammer is close by. Let's see. Here we go. Alright, got one set. I like this antique bronze too against the brown like that. So I'll do 2 of those. The basketball game on in the background. I guess I can turn that off. It's a good game, overtime. Alright, same thing here. I'm going to lay this down. This has like a nice little concave groove for it to sit in so it doesn't get bent. And then this, got these from Buckle Guy. That's one of my big suppliers I use. And they got a nice selection of all these different sizes. And let's see here. Here we go. Alright. That, I think that'll look nice on the front. I'll get that heat erase off there and won't have to worry about it anymore. So now I have to create the opposite side here for these buttons to snap into. So this will go on one side, and then I do want to line up about where it's going to be so I can fold it down on top in the correct area, but I'll have to line that up and make sure I'm just in the right place. Alright. Kind of got my measurements set out where this needs to be, where it's gonna snap back onto the front here. So what I'll do, kind of the same thing I did with the other portion. Just gotta make some holes, punchies on there. Now these are a little different. These have a little, basically a little peg, and then that's what the button will snap onto. So I have to work these from back here. Set that on top, and this one will actually use the flat side here because this back side is flat. And then there's a concave end. The last one I had was pointed in here. This one has a little hole in the thing so that can sit right on top. Give it a nice fit. Clang that down. And same thing for the other side. And what I did was I set these on top of each other. I put the laptop in there, lined it up here, made sure when I folded over that these were going to connect, and it would give a nice snug fit but not too tight, just to give some leeway in there. Now, these should snap on like so. There we go. So that'll just give it some nice little protection, because these things, like I said, are slippery, and I would hate to just have an open end here and something be to happen. So put some nice snaps on there. Now I'm gonna get this sewn on. I'll have to sew this onto the back, and I gave my little wing divider, got myself a nice little line here to follow. So I'll stitch that on the back there, and then I'm gonna stitch these together. All right, so we got our moment of truth here. Got this stitched on the back. So I did this before I did anything else. And all I had to do was lay these down, throw a stitch, top, bottom. There's the moment of truth. See if my math worked out. All right, let's see. All right, like what I see so far. All right. So that's a nice snug fit. And I do want it a little snug, and the reason being, leather is going to give a little bit over time. It's going to stretch. Let's see. All right, we're in business. So got my little snaps in here. Looks nice across the back. It's a pretty clean stitch. Real simple. I haven't done the edges yet, but now I can, I like that. Let me know what y'all think. I'll hit the edges with some gum trag, my slicker, clean those up real nice. But I like how that turned out. Pretty simple project, relatively straightforward. Cut out some rectangles, had a little, you don't even have to add this. This was kind of just an extra thing I added, but you could just as easily have just a sleeve like that. I like it though. This leather's gorgeous. So that'll be much better to carry around. I got some other ideas just from doing this that made me want to put either some pockets on there, maybe some pen holders, something just to add to it, just to add a little flair to it. But I think that came out pretty nice. Appreciate y'all checking it out. Until next time.